ExamPrep.School. NC Professional Bail Bondsman Insurance Exam. Exam code INSNC-PBB25. There are 4 practice exams in this series. This video covers Practice Exam 1. The first 20 questions are free. In this video, we will be covering the following major categories for Practice Exam 1. Bail bond procedures, bail bond terminology, fiduciary responsibilities, forfeitures, licensing, NC statutes and regulations, pertinent to bail bondsmen, powers and duties of the commissioner, prohibited practices. Let's walk through the format. I'll read each question and its choices. Let's get started. Question 1. According to GS 58-2-69, which of the following actions is within the commissioner's authority when investigating insurance or bail business? A. Issue a formal directive requiring a bail bondsman to submit documents. B. Seize unrelated third-party insurance company records without written court authorization. C. Search personal financial institution accounts without obtaining prior judicial authorization. D. Arrest and detain licensed individuals for suspected regulatory violations without hearing. A countdown circle appears in the top right. Once it completes, the answer is revealed. You can pause at any time if you'd like longer to think. If you'd like additional practice covering more topics, see the description for our book. The correct answer is A. The Commissioner's authority under GS 58-2-69 includes issuing directives to licensees to produce documents relevant to an investigation. All other actions, seizing third-party records without a court order, searching bank accounts without judicial authorization, or arresting individuals fall outside that statutory authority and require separate legal processes. Reason B is not correct. The Commissioner cannot seize third-party records without a court order. Judicial authorization is required. Reason C is not correct. Bank account searches require prior judicial authorization. The Commissioner lacks that unilateral power. Reason D is not correct. The Commissioner does not have arrest authority. Enforcement of regulatory violations must go through law enforcement. Question 2. Which statement best describes the Commissioner's use of administrative subpoenas in bail bond investigations under GS 58-2-69? A. Subpoena relevant persons to testify under oath and produce bail bond records. B. Compel witness attendance at hearings by subpoena but cannot require document production. C. Require prior approval by the General Assembly before issuance of any subpoenas. D. Serve subpoenas only within the immediate county of the Commissioner's principal office. The correct answer is A. The Commissioner's subpoena authority under the statute includes compelling persons to testify under oath and to produce bail bond records relevant to an investigation. There is no requirement for legislative approval, nor is there a restriction limiting service to a single county. Reason B is not correct. Subpoena authority explicitly covers document production as well as witness attendance. Reason C is not correct. No statutory provision requires General Assembly approval before issuing subpoenas. Reason D is not correct. Subpoenas may be served statewide. There's no county-only service restriction. Question 3. Under Chapter 58 of the North Carolina General Statutes, which section specifically authorizes the Commissioner of Insurance to adopt rules and regulations governing bail bondsmen? A. GS 58-2-40. B. GS 58-2-65. C. GS 58-71-30. D. GS 58-2-50. The correct answer is B. GS 58-2-65 explicitly grants the Commissioner rulemaking authority to regulate bail bondsmen, whereas the other sections address unrelated powers, forms, or hearing procedures. Reason A is not correct. This section outlines general departmental powers but does not grant specific rulemaking authority for bail bondsmen. Reason C is not correct. This statute prescribes bond forms and filing requirements, not the power to adopt rules. Reason D is not correct. This provision covers hearing procedures and subpoenas, not rule adoption authority. Question 4. A licensed bail bondsman receives an administrative notice from the Commissioner under Chapter 150B, scheduling a contested case hearing on alleged licensing violations. According to Chapter 150B notice and hearing procedures, which element must be included in that notice? A. The names of the individual board or commission members who will preside over the hearing. B. A concise statement of the factual matters asserted and the legal authority for the proposed action. C. The prescribed venue in Superior Court and any applicable statutory fee schedule. D. A requirement to submit a list of witnesses at least 5 days before the hearing. The correct answer is B. The notice must provide a statement of the factual matters asserted and the legal authority under which the Commissioner proposes to act, ensuring the respondent understands the basis for the hearing. Reason A is not correct. It is not required to list individual board or commission members in the notice. Reason C is not correct. The notice need not specify judicial venue or fee schedules for contested case hearings under Chapter 150B. Reason D is not correct. There is no mandate to include a deadline for submitting witness list in the initial hearing notice. Question 5. Under North Carolina law, which of the following functions may the Commissioner delegate to department staff under GS 58-71? A. Conducting market conduct examinations of licensees. B. Issuing final administrative rules. C. Rendering final disciplinary decisions after contested hearings. D. Establishing statutory license fee schedules. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is conducting market conduct examinations of licensees because the Commissioner is authorized to delegate examination and investigative duties to department staff. The other functions represent powers that the Commissioner must exercise directly or through formal rulemaking processes. Reason B is not correct. Final administrative rules require formal adoption by the Commissioner and cannot be delegated to staff. Reason C is not correct. Final disciplinary decisions after contested hearings must be made by the Commissioner and are not delegable. Reason D is not correct. Establishing statutory fee schedules is a rulemaking function reserved to the Commissioner. Question 6. According to GS 58-71-120, which of the following best describes a professional bail bondsman? A. An insurance company admitted in North Carolina to underwrite bail bond risks. B. A person licensed under this article to solicit, write, and execute bail bonds for compensation. C. A law enforcement officer appointed by the Commissioner to locate fugitives. D. An attorney at law who posts bail on behalf of indigent defendants. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is a person licensed under GS 58-71-120 to solicit, write, and execute bail bonds for compensation, matching the statutory definition of professional bail bondsman. Reason A is not correct. Describes an insurance company, not the individual licensee defined by the statute. Reason C is not correct. Refers to a law enforcement role, which is outside the statutory definition of a professional bail bondsman. Reason D is not correct. Attorneys may post bail but are not defined as professional bail bondsmen under the statute. Question 7. Under GS 58-71-1, which entity is defined as a surety bail bondsman? A. An individual licensed to solicit and write bail bonds for compensation. B. An insurance company admitted to conduct business in North Carolina and authorized to issue bail bonds. C. A corporate affiliate that posts collateral on behalf of professional bail bondsmen. D. A licensed attorney who acts as surety for a defendant's release. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is an insurance company admitted to North Carolina and authorized under GS 58-71-1 to issue bail bonds, which matches the statutory definition of surety bail bondsman. Reason A is not correct. Describes an individual agent rather than an admitted insurance company defined by the statute. Reason C is not correct. Refers to an affiliate posting collateral, not the insurer statutorily recognized as surety bail bondsman. Reason D is not correct. An attorney acting as surety is not the entity defined as surety bail bondsman under the statute. Question 8. A licensed bondsman hires a bail bond runner to deliver bond documents and collect signatures at the courthouse. The bondsman neglects to file any paperwork with the commissioner related to the runner's employment. Under GS 58-71-40, what is the bondsman required to do regarding the runner's employment? A. File a signed written statement of the runner's employment with the commissioner within 30 days of hiring. B. Obtain a separate bond runner license from the commissioner before the runner performs any duties. C. Require the runner to carry a photographic ID and a copy of the bail bond power of attorney while performing duties. D. Ensure the runner completes the commissioner's pre-service training course before transporting any bond documents. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is that the bondsman must file a signed written statement of the runner's employment with the commissioner within 30 days, as mandated by GS 58-71-40. Reason B is not correct. There is no requirement for a separate runner license. The statute specifies a written employment statement instead. Reason C is not correct. While carrying ID may be advisable, the statute does not impose an ID requirement, but mandates filing a statement. Reason D is not correct. No pre-service training course is prescribed. The law only requires submission of the employment statement. Question 9. According to North Carolina requirements, what is the minimum age and required period of state residency for an individual to be eligible for initial licensure as a professional bail bondsman? A. At least 18 years old and 2 years of North Carolina residency. B. At least 21 years old and 1 year of North Carolina residency. C. At least 18 years old and 1 year of North Carolina residency. D. At least 21 years old and 2 years of North Carolina residency. The correct answer is C. The North Carolina statute mandates that an initial professional bail bondsman applicant be at least 18 years old and have been a resident of the state for at least 1 year prior to application. Reason A is not correct. The residency requirement is 1 year, not 2 years. Reason B is not correct. North Carolina does not raise the minimum age to 21 for initial bail bondsman licensure. Reason D is not correct. Both the increased age and extended residency period exceed statutory requirements. Question 10. Under GS Chapter 58, which of the following convictions disqualifies an applicant from obtaining a bail bondsman license in North Carolina? A. Felony larceny involving theft over $1,000. B. Misdemeanor driving under the influence. C. Felony embezzlement or other breach of trust. D. Misdemeanor simple assault. The correct answer is C. North Carolina law disqualifies any applicant convicted of a felony involving dishonesty or breach of trust, such as embezzlement, from bail bondsman licensure. Reason A is not correct. Not every felony disqualifies an applicant. The statute targets those involving dishonesty or breach of trust. Reason B is not correct. A misdemeanor DUI does not automatically bar licensure unless it involved moral turpitude as defined by statute. Reason D is not correct. Simple assault misdemeanors are not listed as disqualifying offenses under Chapter 58. Question 11. When a licensed bail bondsman operates his primary office and 2 additional satellite offices, what is the minimum corporate surety bond amount he must file to satisfy North Carolina's financial responsibility standards? A. $75,000. B. $100,000. C. $125,000. D. $150,000. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is $100,000. North Carolina requires a corporate surety bond of $50,000 for a primary office plus $25,000 for each additional office. This Yoksu multiplied by $25,000 equals $50,000, totaling $100,000. Reason A is not correct. This amount reflects only a single additional office and fails to account for both added offices. Reason C is not correct. This amount assumes an overestimation of the required total by $25,000. Reason D is not correct. This amount applies the initial office requirement to each location, which is not required. Question 12. Under 11, NC AC 6 amps 0.0202, which of the following items is explicitly required on the bail bondsman license application submitted to the Department of Insurance? A. Omitting a discussion of the fund's investment objectives. B. A list of the names and addresses of each surety company with which the applicant proposes to write bail bonds. C. A detailed schedule of proposed premium rates for various bond types. D. A sample indemnity agreement executed by the applicant and a client. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is that the application must include the names and addresses of each surety company with which the applicant intends to contract, as mandated by 11 NCAC 6 amps 0.0202. None of the other items are required to be filed with the initial application. Reason A is not correct. Submission of a trust account audit report is not required as part of the initial license application. Reason C is not correct. Proposed premium schedules are not mandated on the application form itself. Reason D is not correct. Providing a completed indemnity agreement template is not a required element of the application. Question 13. Michael received his notice of eligibility on July 1st, granting him 90 days to schedule the professional bail bondsman exam. On October 30th, he attempts to schedule a test date and is denied. According to North Carolina scheduling requirements, what is the most likely reason for this denial? A. Because the exam must be scheduled at least 2 business days in advance, the testing provider is required to refuse his requested date. B. Because his mandatory criminal background check remains incomplete, the provider must withhold scheduling until the background check is finalized. C. The scheduling request falls outside the mandated 60-day eligibility timeframe, so the testing provider must deny the request. D. The validity period of his eligibility notice was 90 days and has now expired, so he must submit a new application and fee to regain scheduling eligibility. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is that his 90-day eligibility period has expired, requiring submission of a new application and fee. Eligibility notices in North Carolina are valid for only 90 days, and scheduling outside this period is not permitted. Reason A is not correct. Refusal based on 2 business day notice requirement would apply only if the date request was too soon, which is not the case here. Reason B is not correct. Background checks must be completed before issuing the notice of eligibility, so scheduling is not withheld at this stage. Reason C is not correct. There is no 60-day window in North Carolina. The eligibility period is 90 days, not 60. Question 14. Each year, a licensed bail bondsman in North Carolina must submit renewal materials to the commissioner no later than the last business day of which month? A. September. B. October. C. November. D. December. The correct answer is C. The Commissioner requires bail bond license renewals to be filed by the last business day of November each year under North Carolina regulations. Reason A is not correct. Renewals are due later in the year, not as early as September. Reason B is not correct. October is 1 month before the actual November deadline. Reason D is not correct. December follows the November deadline and is too late. Question 15. During each biennial renewal period, bail bondsmen in North Carolina must complete how many hours of continuing education approved by the commissioner? A. 6 hours. B. 10 hours. C. 8 hours. D. 12 hours. The correct answer is C. North Carolina rules mandate that bail bondsmen complete 8 hours of commissioner-approved continuing education within each 2-year renewal cycle. Reason A is not correct. 6 hours is below the required minimum specified by the rules. Reason B is not correct. 10 hours exceeds the mandated 8-hour requirement. Reason D is not correct. 12 hours is more than the required 8 hours in a biennial period. Question 16. Under GS 58-71-35 of the North Carolina General Statutes, a bail bondsman is prohibited from soliciting business within how many feet of a court facility's entrance or exit? A. 100 feet. B. 150 feet. C. 200 feet. D. 250 feet. The correct answer is A. The statute expressly bars solicitation within 100 feet of any court facility entrance or exit under GS 58-71-35. Reason B is not correct. The statute does not extend the restricted zone to 150 feet. Reason C is not correct. The prohibited distance is less than 200 feet as defined by statute. Reason D is not correct. There is no provision in GS 58-71-35 for a 250-foot restriction. Question 17. Under GS 58-71-50, which of the following locations is explicitly defined as a detention area where a bail bondsman may not solicit business? A. County jail booking cell. B. Pretrial release center waiting area. C. Public courthouse lobby. D. District attorney's office. The correct answer is A. GS 58-71-50 specifically includes county jail booking cells as detention areas where solicitation is prohibited. Reason B is not correct. A pre-trial release center waiting area is not listed in GS 58-71-50 as a detention area. Reason C is not correct. A courthouse lobby is not classified under the statute as a detention area. Reason D is not correct. The district attorney's office is not defined as a detention area in GS 58-71-50. Question 18. According to GS 58-71-65A, bail bond agents are prohibited from compensating which of the following for referring persons in need of bonding services? A. Law enforcement officers. B. Court-appointed defense attorneys. C. Private investigators. D. Former bail bond clients. The correct answer is A. GS 58-71-65 AAZA expressly forbids paying law enforcement officers any compensation for client referrals. Reason B is not correct. Compensation to court-appointed defense attorneys is not specifically banned under GS 58-71-65A. Reason C is not correct. Private investigators are not listed as prohibited referral recipients in this section. Reason D is not correct. Compensating former clients for referrals is not expressly prohibited by GS 58-71-65A. Question 19. A bail bondsman enters into a written agreement with several local towing companies to pay them $75 for each client referral. Which practice most likely violates North Carolina law regarding solicitation? A. Reimbursing clients for mileage to travel to the courthouse. B. Paying towing companies a referral fee for each client they send. C. Distributing business cards on the sheriff's office public bulletin board. D. Offering complimentary credit card processing to clients. The correct answer is B. North Carolina law prohibits compensating unlicensed third parties for client referrals. The agreement with towing companies constitutes improper solicitation under GS 58-71-70. Reason A is not correct. Reimbursing clients directly for travel does not involve using third parties to solicit business. Reason C is not correct. Posting business cards on a public bulletin board is a passive display and does not involve referral fees. Reason D is not correct. Providing credit card services is a client convenience, not a method of third-party solicitation. Question 20. A bail bondsman instructs staff to post promotional flyers on interior walls and holding cells of the county jail. Which action most clearly violates North Carolina's restrictions on advertisement locations? A. Leaving business cards at local criminal defense attorneys' offices for client pickup. B. Distributing informational brochures at the public bulletin board outside the sheriff's department. C. Placing digital ads on a statewide bail bond association website. D. Posting promotional flyers on interior walls and holding cells of the county jail. The correct answer is D. North Carolina law forbids any advertising inside detention facilities. Posting materials on jail walls and holding cells directly breaches the ban on advertisements in prohibited zones. Reason A is not correct. Distributing materials at attorneys' offices does not occur within a restricted detention or courthouse area. Reason B is not correct. Using a public bulletin board outside the sheriff's department falls outside the banned advertising areas. Reason C is not correct. Digital advertisements on an association website are not located within prohibited physical zones. Enjoyed this practice test? Tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with a classmate. Got a question we should tweak? Comment below, we read them all. Find full practice exam books in the description or at ExamPrep.School.